Welcome, everybody. This is New York Sports Scene Long Island Mouth, and we're here at the Eagle Academy with Coach Hawkins. Coach, what do you see so far on the field?
Yeah, man, there's a lot of talent. Eagle Academy is a team in the PSAL. They built up a very, very competitive and talented team over the last couple years. Coach Chad Ellis is somebody I've known for a number of years, and this is the first year they're doing a show day, which we saw throughout the Northeast over the past couple days. Started in Connecticut. I believe the next day was Massachusetts, and then yesterday was New York and New Jersey. I was actually over at Iona Prep yesterday doing some timing. Came out today, Coach Ellis. I've been doing 40 timing for a number of years, and they asked me to come out and time some 40s for some of their, I think, class of 27 and 28 players that they have on the team.
We came out here because a lot of people don't see New York for what it is. There's a lot of great athletes here. What have you seen over the last couple of years that has shown that New York is a place to find great talent?
I think it's going outside of your area to play teams out of state. Teams like Iona Prep, they were able for years to be able to leave the area. The PSAL had different rules in place, and so does a lot of governing bodies where you're not necessarily able to go outside your area. As you know, Long Island, none of the Long Island schools can leave the area to play. That's why you haven't seen any Long Island, New York City like matchups. So I would say getting outside of the state and playing against top competition has really shown not only the area but the rest of the country that New York, not just New York City, but the tri-state New York in general has talent that can compete against talent outside of the state. That's one of the big things. There's always been talent here. New York hasn't traditionally or historically been seen as a hotbed, but if you go out and you're actually playing competition against teams in New Jersey, which has a ton of talent, PA, that shows that you can compare apples to apples as opposed to the stigma of they're playing weak competition. So that's the biggest thing. I know that's a long-winded answer. It does get a little bit more complicated in terms of why schools won't come and recruit. But I will say, in my opinion, it's going out and playing top competition. So that way people can say, hey, the players from New York City, Long Island, and New York in general can compete with other players outside of the state.
Talking to these kids, giving them feedback, you're seeing what they are doing wrong and what they're doing right. What do you see in the future to New York sports and New York football that can take this to the next level?
Consistently playing out-of-state competition, doing things like show days. This is the first time this is happening in New York City. These colleges are going to be going over to, I believe, Curtis, Tottenville, Mount Senior Farrell as well. So it's just not the public school, it's the Catholic. Getting these spring show days, this has never happened before. I know schools have done it individually. E-Hall is doing it, but not to this point where they've organized and getting colleges to come back to different schools. But I would say continue to do that. Coaches continuing to push themselves to get better, to work in the off season, and that's going to help programs grow and develop, in my opinion. We don't have a traditional spring ball in the New York area like you see down south where it's more organized. There is spring ball in the south. I used to coach in Mississippi. You would have a legit spring ball that would be 3 to 4 weeks where you would have some slight padded practices, but that would end with like a scrimmage, a jamboree, full pads. You don't have that in New York State. So I know a lot of coaches would like to have that happen. The South is different, but that's something that I would like to see is where that would be an option to have spring ball. Now, that's going to have to get approved, and there has to be bylaws and things that are passed to allow it to happen. That would take football to another level. But if you can't have that, I will say things that are happening right now, getting at colleges out here now, and then having an off-season program where you have a strong weightlifting program paired with developing game speed, positional skills as well, run track as well, like do other sports as well. But I do think that will take New York to a different level if you added some other things to the equation.
All right, we're here at the Eagle Academy. We were here with Coach Hawkins, and we'll be back after this.